Oh, there you are.
Hey everyone. Hey Clint.
Hey.
It's been a while since I've put that countdown up and then had to go tweet it out and share on Facebook and stuff, running around counting down the time.
Yeah, it's good to be back. What's up, world?
Oh man, it's been a while since we've done one of these.
Yeah, man. How you been doing?
Good. Very busy. Been chatting up with Jarbo a bit lately.
All right.
Good conversations. What about you?
I'm hanging out in Austin. We're having Canadian weather right now, so that's exciting. So everybody's dripping their faucets because it's the end of the world. Everybody went to get water and canned goods just in case the apocalypse happens. So I'm just
Everyone's freaking out.
So I'm just hunkered down, waiting to see what happens. Which nothing's gonna happen. I mean, it'll be fine. So last year we had some power outages, and I'm hoping we don't experience any of that. But other than that, I think we're all going to be okay. So
good.
My Canadian homies live with us every day. What are you talking about?
Minus 30 here.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Art Bell in the chat. That's the real
wow.
Art Bell. I'm going to be very happy.
No,
but
that's
even
real.
If it's not, I'm still happy.
That's cool.
What a time for an impromptu live stream. Oh, you want to go through the chat like old school?
Yeah, man.
And then
so how we doing in
some guests?
Yeah, how we doing in the chat, gang?
Well, we got the all-star here.
Oh, Bobby.
Bobby. Miss you, Bobby. Oh, she took out Gigi. And we got a super chat. Thank you very much, Non-Kino, for the $4.99 super chat. It's very nice of you. I'm not sure
very
if
nice.
we need writers for small screen, but I will let you know. Who else we got here? Oh, we got Sean Dickinson in the house.
What's up, Sean?
Hey,
Kazakhs.
Roman numerals. Thank you very much. Geek Studios, only Geeks TV. Thank you. Yeah, the StreamYard link is pinned, and we'll be shuffling people in and out. No problem. Here, I'll highlight and you can read. All right, Clint? We'll make a team effort.
All right.
There you go.
All right, Coach Goody, 421. Hope you're all doing well. Should be fun. Consider sharing on social media if you haven't. More the merrier. Absolutely.
Coach Goody's good people. He's good people. He's got a very nice network of creative talent that he's throwing together. That's all I can say at the moment. He's
awesome.
Really, really good.
And every team needs a good coach. So
yes.
Clint likes everything. Hey,
Who's
gang.
that, Clint? Yeah.
That's me. That is Danzig, 1979. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Give something special for Danzig here. Which one should I do, Clint? You tell me.
Yeah.
Which one? Oh, that one?
Yeah.
All right. Took me a bit
that's the only one I could think of.
I do like the sandwich one that he always requests.
I like the yeah. Quiet you, or I'll give you a knuckle sandwich. That one.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the I also like the RoboCop. That one. That's a classic.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Do you think Edward's gonna wake up and come on?
I don't know.
He had knee surgery, eh?
Yeah, but he's out and fine, and thanked everybody on Twitter for all of the love. So I'm glad.
Yes,
I'm glad he's doing well. All right. I didn't know he was that old to get a knee replacement surgery, but
you got to read that. That's your job.
Oh, my bad. Sean Dixon, Merry Christmas.
I lost the comments, man. We got 24 people. Usually it's what, 10, 15 we used to get?
And thank y'all. And all of you guys, if you get a chance, give us a like so the algorithm sends us out into the universe. Thomas Wayne, good luck to small screen going forward. Happy holidays to all. I'm done with CBMs. Excited for Mission Impossible and John Wick. Love Top Gun Maverick. Cocainum.
Oh, there it is. There's the first one.
Cocainum.
I hope CBMs doesn't stand for Clint Baker's memes, because I like making memes and I want people to check those out, you know?
I'm looking forward to Mission Impossible.
I
Did
am
you see
too.
that little clip they put out of Tom Cruise jumping the canyon?
Yeah, he's
Motorcycle?
no, I thought you're talking about
Oh.
are you talking about the one where he's casually talking to the camera and then he just jumps?
No,
That
this one is where they built a huge ramp in Norway, and he's got to like jump off and go through down the canyon, and then he's got to base jump and land on the parachute. And he did like 13,000 stunt jumps to practice, and I think
Dude's
over
crazy.
100 airplane jumps, and then he ended up doing it 6 times. Like when you see it, like your heart will like just your stomach will drop out of your body. It's like that guy is nuts. That guy.
He's a crazy daredevil, man. I saw another video the other day where he was like, "Hey, I just want to thank all the fans and all the support we got with Top Gun and all this." And it's really loud, and you're like, "What's going on?" And he's like yelling, and then all of a sudden he's all right, see you later, and he just jumps out of a plane, and like, oh, okay, like you're just gonna casually do. And he talked all the way falling too. Well, while he's free falling, he was talking. I don't know if he had a flying selfie stick or what, but it was pretty awesome.
Adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Ryan Hartwell, welcome. Thank you for coming over from. How would you say Hwad? Hwad? Hold on, Matt. How do you say that?
Hwad.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Spherical Man says Hwad Squad Raid. Yeah. I almost read that Sphincter Man. I'm glad I didn't wear my glasses, so I'm glad I didn't say that.
Jasonese in the chat. Hello. Thank you for joining. Geek Studios, Merry Christmas.
I said that with love. I wasn't being snarky, by the way. Ryan Hartwell, if a lot of people love each other, the world will be a better place to live. Absolutely.
If a lot of people love each other, the world would be a better place to live. And that's, you know who that's from, right?
Yeah, I'm very busy. What's going on?
The room. Got Darth Scipio in the chat.
Hello there.
Jarbo, the Mouth of the Northwest, will be on. Yeah, he will be on any minute now. I'll get through this chat here quick, and then we'll bring him in.
The man of the Northwest.
There
Matt
we go.
Jarbo.
Can I find the Edward Cocainium? Yeah.
Cocainum.
That's a different one.
Yeah.
I like that one too.
I think I made that one. Kaz, what's up? Or if someone else made it, I apologize. There's this.
Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
That's long. Streamer changes. Now it fades out at the end of the clips.
Call it, Sanchez, or you'll get a knuckle supper.
That's good.
All right, Art Bell just subbed. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Art Bell.
Has 6,500 subs.
Nice.
Terrible effect.
Nice.
Oh, Charlie Wilson. There you are. Charlie, if you're watching this, man, I meant to message you. Come on in. I'll send you the StreamYard link in a little bit, or it's pinned to the YouTube chat as well. Good to see you. Great video essay that you did on the Batwoman. That was great. Go check out the Then and Now podcast on YouTube. They're awesome.
And a verbal congrats to Charlie for all of your academic success.
Yeah, congratulations on graduating, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Six Face, first live with us. Thank you. A fan for some time. Excellent. Thank you very much. We are actually heading over in January, we're going to be doing the live streams again every week. It'll be on a new channel, though, on Small Screen Live. We'll probably be playing clips and trailers and stuff. So that way, if we get copyright striked and that channel goes down, then we're safe here. So, yeah, and it'll help the algorithm, I think, maybe. So, okay, let's bring in Jarbo. Hi, Jarbo.
Jarbo, what's up, man?
Not too much. I was just watching the 90s show trailer.
Yeah, how was that? You like that?
I mean, it takes me back to 98, you know what I mean? Where you're just like, all right, like, it could be funny. I'll check it out.
I like how they have Red and the mom back, same actors. They don't age.
No. Kitty has not aged, you know, and you just kind of expect Red to like go all full RoboCop.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
I need to check that out. That sounds awesome.
It's I mean, the way I view it is kind of like if you're gonna reboot a show, this is like maybe the right way to do it, where it's kind of a continuation. Like I will fully admit, I enjoyed Fuller House.
I watched the first season. It was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, like I was all like Jodie Sweetin. What up?
We were talking about anime earlier.
You got it, dude.
There's Rock, or sorry, not Rock. Yeah, that's Rock Lee on my mic.
I don't know.
That's Master Guy's pupil.
I don't know.
What's up, Retro Nerd Girl?
I don't
Good
watch-
to see you. Great
You
video.
need to clean that broccoli off your mic, dude. It's going to smell. You said broccoli, right?
Rock Lee.
You mean like the producers of the James Bond franchise?
Yeah, there's two of us.
Wow.
This will be good. I don't like this whole fading out clip that StreamYard has done. I wonder if you can change that.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Not a fan. I like it. I like it hard and to the point. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
in a
that's
non-sexual
classic
sort of way.
Jarbo.
Yeah.
Classic Jarbo.
It's after midnight, and I've had candy.
That's good. That's good.
I went to
Edible
go check-
candy?
No, nerds. That's not what I
Oh,
had.
I haven't had nerds in a long time.
Nerd,
Yeah.
Nerd rope.
Enough to hang myself with.
So we were gonna talk a bit about Andor.
Nice.
Did you watch it all? You watched
Yes,
it all,
I,
right, Jarbo?
yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Clint, what did you think of Andor? And now I want a very in-depth review.
Okay.
Very like a lot of subtleties and very, very highbrow. And I want you to win a Pulitzer for it. Or
Hey, man,
streaming award.
I've already digested this show and spit it out. I'm like, and moved on to brighter pastures. But I will say that I loved this show. I liked the whole cast. Andy Serkis was fantastic. I didn't even know he was going to be in this series, and he blew me away. Everyone was in it. It was tastefully done. It was a show. It felt adult. It was like if Apple or HBO made a Star Wars show instead of being something like what Obi-Wan was, which I still begrudgingly enjoyed, but afterwards I was almost a little bit offended that they just shortchanged us on Obi-Wan, even though I enjoyed it because I like everything. But like Andor, it would have dragged if it wasn't so compelling. It was different. It was just something different. And I think it's exactly what it needed. We got the bubble gum for the kids on some of the other shows, and they finally threw something out for the grownups. And I really enjoyed it. So I liked the entire cast. Stellan Skarsgård, he was fantastic. There was just little nuances and subtleties in the whole series that I really enjoyed. I can't speak more highly of this show. And I don't know. I was trying to think what they could have done to make it better. You know what I mean? I've heard some complaints about it, like having a look and ripping off other sci-fi series and stuff, but or movies. But I'm not going to complain about that. I thought it was cool. I think it's another part of the universe or the galaxy that we don't usually see in Star Wars or haven't ever seen in Star Wars in some cases. And I think it was cool. So I'm glad. Give me more of that. It was cool. It wasn't all shot in the volume stage. And it was fun to watch. And it was long. It wasn't 6 quick episodes that just gave you, hey, let's give some, and I'm all about fan service, but you know what I mean? Like bring it to me, but also give me some nutrients. And this is all nutrients. The whole show was nutrients.
Do you think moving forward that this will be the standard then for Star Wars shows?
I don't know because it didn't get the numbers. And so I think their goal is probably something more like, hey, let's get some Emmys for some amazing acting. And then we could put those trophies on the shelf and give some quality stuff, but then, and we could brag about that. And then also we'll throw out some other things that get numbers, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't. I would hope that they split the diff, because if they gave us something like this mixed in with some of the other stuff that they've done, it would be
Right.
okay. It would be good. Like split the diff. Don't give me another Boba Fett. Give me some more. If you could blend Mandalorian and this show together, and Mandalorian does a great job of throwing in a little bit of fan service and stuff too. So I think if you could blend those two,
Except the
cool.
second season was a lot of fan service.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm okay with that. It's a blending of the first season and then giving us a bunch of fan service. I was still fine with that, but it's if you go all fan service, it turns into a thing that like watching Spider-Man No Way Home. I had a really good time watching that movie in the theater, but then afterwards I was like, was that movie really that good? I think it was just fun, and I'm all for fun, but I like nutrients, and that's what I got out of Andor. So I think if they split the diff, I think it'll be there'll be a lot of happy fans, and as long as they keep the cute droid in there, the kids, the sad droid, the kids will be happy, because that's the only thing I could say. Me being a 45-year-old dude, I had a great time. But if you want to keep your kids excited, you might throw a little bit of comedy relief here and there. Like Rogue One had the droid, it was a little more fun, and they had some like sarcastic fun things going around. So that's all I'll say. So
The
overall,
kids on mopeds.
yeah, no, I don't want the scooter gang for sure.
Jarbo, you
But-
think it's going to be the mold moving forward?
I hope so. I really loved Andor. I thought the whole thing was compelling start to finish. People were like, it's so boring. And I'm like, you're just remedial with the hard R. Like, I'm sorry, it takes a little bit of time to get going and you're having trouble comprehending what you're seeing because they're so used to, like, it's not even that they're used to Disney Star Wars just giving them fan service. I think it's just like, they just don't want to stop and think. I really do think that. I just think compelling television is hard to sell these days. But no, I thought they did a great job. I think Andor, I don't know what it's done numbers wise. We're still, they're kind of keeping it close to the chest, but I do agree that they're probably going to go for like the awards. But they did want to do 3 seasons of the show, then they dropped it down to 2. So the next season is going to be 3 episode blocks. Every 3 episodes will be a year, leading up to the very beginning of Rogue One. And that's going to suck when we get to that part, because I really like Rogue One and I really like Andor.
Yeah.
So,
because, man, 3 seasons of it would have been great.
well, it's entirely possible that what they'll do is they'll figure out, like, maybe it will pick up as time goes on and they'll realize, okay, we can't do this just yet. Like, we've got to, we got to figure out a way to keep this alive.
Mm-hmm.
That could be what they do. But they probably won't do it. I think Andor is an experiment to try to like give Star Wars to an older audience, and it's just not there. But I do also think that Kenobi was a misfire, and
Yeah, same with me.
I just like, I liked it. I did. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I thought it was better than worse. But it's like Boba Fett. It's just like there's decisions where you're like, okay. How did this
There's
make
a
it
lot
through
of
the
it that
committee?
didn't make sense in Kenobi, to me. And I don't want to rehash everything I said before. Like, let's leave Obi-Wan with 1 stormtrooper or 2 stormtroopers, locked in a room together. He's not going to escape.
Yeah.
Or shaky cam lightsaber duel at the end. Like, what is
Well,
that?
what gets me for that, though, has a lot to do with, apparently there was an issue with how they shot it that was like not fixable. Like something with like the way that the cameras
Shot it in
cop.
shaky cam?
I don't know what the shaky cam, like in the opening shot of Obi-Wan, when we see the assault on the cap, or on the Jedi Temple, like that was digital shaky cam. It was a compelling shot, but it was still digital shaky cam. Like, I know what I don't get though is like Deborah Chow doing all of it. It was just like I felt like it wasn't her best work. It might have been the pandemic. I mean, there's a lot of things you can say that might put it in that particular.
Why have shaky cam for a lightsaber duel?
Because
every single lightsaber duel we've seen has been operatic and stationary cameras, some movement And because what you're focusing on is the actors and the choreography and the tension between the two duelists. You're not, and even when they did the bird's eye view, it was shaky cam. Oh my God, Clint, this is like our last live stream.
Yeah, sometimes some people are trying to carve their own niche into this thing. Like she might have just been going for it. Like, okay, I'm gonna try this. Maybe it'll work. Maybe they'll love it. There's a lot of movies with shaky cam, and I also feel like it feels like it was shot in a high school gymnasium. You know what I mean? Like they had no room to do what they needed to do is what what the show feels like. And again, there's performances and things that I liked about it. There was a lot of things that I didn't like about it, but that was the main issue for me. I was like, it's like we're doing a high school play and then throwing some effects on it to make it look good.
That's why Andor works so well.
Yeah, Andor's it was great.
I think that's part of it too. Maybe that's just kind of where I'm at with it. Is I'm kind of over the Jedi. I think there's a lot more compelling characters that aren't Jedi. And it's not to say that I don't want there to be the Jedi, but like, think of it kind of like it's garnish, right? It's like, it's meant to kind of, be something that's there, that's part of a dish, but just not the whole meal. And I think that's kind of the point of the Jedi. It was meant to be mythology. And then it's like, everyone's a Jedi. Thanks, Ryan Johnson.
Well, the cool thing, and what Jarbo was saying about the episodes, it's three episodes or a year.
You're gonna trigger my edibles.
There's going to be a 12 episodes, so every 3 episodes is a year.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's
that'll be good.
This last season was 1 year, and then the next is going to be the next 4 years. They wanted it to be the 5 years up before Rogue One of how he becomes fuck up into a spy. But you're absolutely right, dude. And I noticed like, hey, there's other stuff going on in the universe. Like when they showed Bill Burr in Mandalorian, and he starts talking about being a trooper and how the Empire like went ahead and sacrificed him and his whole unit or whatever just to win a battle, and he felt betrayed by the Empire and all this, and and then he's having a conversation with Mando, and he's like, yeah, everybody thinks they're right until this happens or whatever, everybody's got their morality, but when you can't take off your helmet, but now this happens and you're okay to take off your helmet. The line, the line moves. Watching that, all of a sudden I was fascinated with like the lives of just normal everyday people in this universe. And I never even thought about that. I never considered like what a just a stormtrooper or something might feel like, and all of a sudden we're seeing an espionage thriller about the oppressed people and like espionage and stuff. I'm like, this just turned into a spy thriller. This is awesome. Like, and it's taken it in a serious tone that like there's real stakes and there's people being oppressed. And I think we're just scratching the surface of it. Like just things like the locals banging on stuff to warn the other locals and freak out the Empire and stuff like that. Like, I think it's going to get really cool. I think I think we're testing the waters, and it's about to get really good.
I agree.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, I'm just saying. I think it's he's got a good point there. I think what I hope is that over the course of the next year and some change, while we wait for this thing to come out, that people start to talk about it, they start to discover it, and everything. And I don't know. I mean, with Mando season 3 coming up here pretty soon, and then of course Ahsoka happening after that. We got Bad Batch dropping in literally just about a week and a half. Yeah. So it's like, are anyone going to want to go back and care about that? Because I mean, even like Willow is out. I haven't watched an episode yet.
No, I'm waiting to binge the whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm usually anti-binge, but I just haven't had the time to sit down and like dive into it. But even like there's a new National Treasure show. I haven't watched that yet.
Oh yeah, that came out already.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like there's not a lot of there wasn't a lot of marketing for Andor. I know they
hopefully word of mouth will help the buzz and become a cult hit.
Yeah, well, I mean, they put it on Hulu, they put it on ABC, they showed it on ABC, they showed it on, I think all even Freeform, they put it all over their networks to try to raise awareness for it. There's also been discussions about them doing that as a way to kind of like, write off some of the cost of the show by having it run on the different networks. That would have been like a Chapek order. But I really wonder, like if, God, the fact that these shows are also not on home video, like I can't buy Mando season 1 and season 2 on 4K. I think that's another factor.
$12 a month, $8 a month, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I pay that because I have kids. So it's like we watch Disney Plus every single day. So I mean, like Bluey and Doc McStuffins are a staple in this house, and I will say this though, Bluey probably is one of the best shows on TV, like hands down. No, I'm not even kidding you. Like if you want to see how like a stable family operates, and it's an animated dog family, but like they're stable. Like you watch the parents and you're like, they have a moderately successful sex life. Like, you watch the parents and you're like, they fuck and they fuck well.
So Danzig says, my only criticism for Andor is maybe dropping the whole season in one go. See, I don't know. I liked because it was so good. I liked that excitement of knowing I had that to watch on a Wednesday or Thursday, and usually I don't like that. Usually it's annoying because I'm just like, oh yeah, but like this really gripped my attention.
I had band practice
later. I'm sorry, Jarbo.
What's up?
Yeah. I had band practice on Tuesdays, and I'd get out around midnight, and by the time I got home, it was about 1 a.m, and then I would say, "Oh crap, Andor's about to be on," and I'd get super excited, like I would forget about it all day, and then at the last minute I'd be driving home, and like, yes, I was super excited, and the fact that it wasn't just 6 episodes, that it was like a whole bunch of episodes, was very exciting.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, I got my girlfriend into watching it, but like about halfway through the show, I think it was like episode 4. I think that's when I got her into it. Because I was like, I'm like, we were hanging out at home, and I wasn't going to go out that night. I'm like, well, I want to watch this. She's like, well, we can watch it. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just explain where things are. I'll just explain where things are, where the characters are. And she jumped into episode 4, and then like as like it built up to episode 6, that fucking awesome heist. And then goes from there like into the prison stuff and the prison escape, and then you're just like the whole fight at the Empire. I mean, if you start noticing, it's like they really start selling you on the 3 episode blocks with this even with this season, that every 3 episodes something is going to happen. You're going to have a build up to get to that end, and that's going to be really good for what they're going to do for the next season. So the pacing on the show was really well done. The costume design was great. I love that the fact that you saw bricks and you saw screws, and it triggered the largest YouTube channel that's pro Star Wars, and it's like just grown ass men that are just like, and one of them's Canadian. So I don't get it. Like, I just don't understand. I think he really brought your guys' country down. Like, I'm not saying deport him to here because we don't want him, but Guam is nice this kind of year. So, but just like, like, I don't know, screws and bricks, man, just took me out of Star Wars. Like, oh, really? That took you out of Star Wars? Rudimentary building blocks took you out of Star Wars? Like, Jesus, dude.
Wow. I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, they have sleeves too, and they're wearing clothes. Like,
yeah. Like, what do you mean this guy's got what looks like an AK-47? Yeah, they have guns with bullets too. It's not all laser shit.
Yeah.
It's
no,
like,
but you make a good point though about the 3 episodes. Like, imagine we had the jail, all 3 of those episodes in one sitting. That would just been fantastic. But you lose the hype though of that. No more than 12 at the end.
Yeah. With that, no more than 12 drops. You're like, what the fuck does that? Like, oh my God. Like, now he's in on it, and you're just like, let's roll and shit. And like that part, I'm down for that. Like that left me going, oh,
and then you go online
like,
and you talk about it. And that's
I talked about it on my show, but that was the problem though, is that it was just like, I felt, and this is what I feel when it comes, and maybe this is again, just like being part of the internet, on a content creation side of things. I look at the traditional method of which Hollywood, distributes their movies and talks about their movies. And you're seeing these massive disruption patterns happening where it's like, look, the Violent Night, for example, just dropped 3 weeks ago and it's already on VOD.
Yeah.
And I went to go see it. Yeah. It just dropped the other day in VOD. I mean, I saw it opening weekend. I went to, I saw it opening weekend, and everything. And I paid my money to go see it. And I went in, I had a blast with it. And I was telling everyone like, oh man, it's so great. And a lot of people in my audience were like, oh yeah, we saw it too. It was awesome. And this movie had a $20 million budget and its domestic gross was like 56 million or something along those lines.
See, that's weird though, because like you think it's case by case basis, because if you look at the Mean One, right, which we interviewed Stephen Lamort, the director, which you can check out later after this. So go watch that later.
On
But
smallscreen.co.
yeah, I don't have to say it because we're on the channel, but yeah, on small screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. We're not on my channel. We're pimping your show.
I'm not
So
plugging it.
Hollywood After Dark, James
But-
talks about that on Hollywood After
Quad.
Quad Squad, baby. Part of the Jizz Network.
But like they got 1 week extended in theaters for the Mean One, so it'd be in during Christmas. He was very happy about that. And then they were talking about not releasing it on VOD or not releasing it on VOD, and then next year going internationally on the theater circuit with it, and then after that release it on VOD.
Well, because they were supposed to release it on VOD for free. Originally, the initial press release put out by XYZ Films had said that they were.
It's not XYZ anymore.
No, it
It's
went
not
to
the same
somebody
distributor.
else. Yeah, they dropped. Oh, I don't know why they dropped. I haven't been able to find any information on that, but I haven't really looked. And no, I don't think anyone's really asked, because even then, when XYZ like dipped out, it was like I think it was like Bloody Disgusting was like the primary, the primary reporter on all of this, right? Like everything was being run through them. There wasn't a lot of outside talking about it. But I mean, like I did a video when that news dropped, and I got like 55,000 views on that video. You know, it was only has like a 45-second watch time, right? But it's got like, you know, there's a lot of people who checked out the Mean One. You know, they wanted to know more about it. I'm like, okay, cool. And I thought like, I get them putting it in theaters, but again, like the nearest theater to me showing it is 60 miles south.
Right.
So I'm just like, it's not viable for me to make the trip down there to go and watch it. And again, everyone I've talked to who's seen it, no one has said a good thing about it.
Yeah, that's a shame.
So it's like, that's what
I read some good reviews of it though.
Well, that's good. That's really good. Like, you know, like the thing I'm hearing is that they use like CG blood. It's not even like real blood. It's a CG blood. And I'm like, really, in a horror movie? Like, I mean, that's usually like the thing you spend the most amount of money of your budget on.
Yeah. It's corn syrup and red dye.
Yeah. It's not that difficult to put that shit together. So it was like,
Rambo
okay.
3.
Kill Bill.
We
should bring in.
I wonder if the Violent Night is because say it was Glass Onion. Glass Onion, they should have kept in the theater and they should have done a wider release, but they were just doing an experiment, just to see how it would do. That would have definitely done well in the theater. But Violent Night being a Christmas movie, I wonder if their logic is, who's going to watch a Christmas movie in January? Let's release it early, and then we will get all the video on demand money right at Christmas, so all the people that don't want to go to the theater still can watch it at home for the holidays.
Yeah,
so I can kind of see the logic, but still it seems kind of weird.
Well, they did this a couple of years ago. Was it last year or a year before that? Whenever Sing 2 came out, I think it might have been last year.
Yeah.
Sing 2 came out, and this is Universal's plan, and it's actually been really profitable. So Universal put Sing 2 in theaters, and up until Christmas, right? And like right around Christmas, they dropped it on PVOD, and they kept the movie still in theaters. And the movie kept doing okay in theaters, and apparently did very, very well on PVOD. Trolls 2, when that dropped about 3 years ago, that was something they put straight up on PVOD, and the movie did very well on PVOD. Like, I heard it did like they were surprised at how good it did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Universal has been able to figure out a way of like dropping these films on premium video on demand and actually having them do surprisingly good. So there's definitely a market for it. Like, because I know there's that worry about piracy and things like that, and that's always going to happen. You're not ever going to be able to get away from it. But it's like there are people out there that just find the convenience factor of getting it, there. And so it's like, you figure like, I think it's like Violent Night is like $20 to rent, $25 to buy. So it's like, why not drop the extra $5 and get the movie outright? Personally, I'm going to wait.
Like I did with Shazam when it came out on VOD.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't buy digitally. I just don't. I will buy the physical if I can, and then if I'm unable to get it physically, then fair game in my mind. But I know this sounds bad, but it's like, no, you're alienating a customer base that doesn't want online all the time.
Yep.
Never
so
mind.
they're still making money in the theater though. They're still in theaters like Sing was. So
Yeah, no, they're still pulling in. I mean, like, they're still going to do okay.
They're
Like,
just trying to find that balance.
it does feel like they're leaving money on the table by doing that though, because they're going to make a lot more money in theaters. But
well, I think they're worried about the fact that it's again, Avatar. That's just the big thing right now. Is Avatar is going to pull in another 80 million this weekend. It's done very well. I believe there's very solid word of mouth for Avatar. You can kind of tell by the fact that like the usual suspects that would attack movies are not attacking Avatar. Never mind, it's exceptionally woke in regards to the concept of environmentalism and its comments on capitalism. So there's a lot. Yeah, sorry.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's one of those movies where it's like, the grifters could grift sort of thing.
Yeah. It's an incredible ride though. If you haven't seen it yet in the theater, have you seen it?
Oh, I see. No. Oh, yeah. I saw.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's an incredible ride. So I like it. It's pretty unfuckwithable. You know what I mean? Like pretty much all blockbuster movies have some kind of thing thrown in, but God, it was really fun to watch. Like I didn't even notice how long it was. It was just really, really fun to watch. And then you got Puss in Boots coming too. Like Puss in Boots has got really good buzz behind it. So I'm expecting that to clean up all the scraps.
I saw the first one.
Let me get to these super chats first. And I never got to see the Avatar in the theater, by the way. That was a missed opportunity on my part. But let me get these super chat first, and then we have some people backstage waiting. Gadliath Productions, Non-Kino, thank you. Been watching 1899, Tulsa King, Willow, Long Horse, and Mythic Quest. Yeah, so I'm sure we'll talk about some of those later. Like Tulsa King, I've been watching. I think that's fantastic. Yeah. And Danzig here. Merry Christmas, brother. Thank you so much. Just wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thanks for all the great content on the channel, and be sure to subscribe to Small Screen Live. Yes, subscribe to our new channel. I'll throw a link up in a little bit. Thanks again, Danzig. Oops, wrong comment. Really appreciate it. And we do miss doing the weekly lives and talking to you all. And we have some very loyal followers. You know, we don't get a lot of views like you would at Hwad or anything, but they're all loyal. So we should bring in Ryan Hartwell. Hello. Hey. I like that picture.
Oh, thank you. It's my acting profile.
Oh, nice. Nice to meet you, in voice.
Hey, Matt. James, Clint.
Hey, Ryan.
And then we have Charlie here. And then we do have Non-Kino backstage. We'll bring him in a little bit.
What's up, fellas? Can you hear me fine? Does that sound okay?
Yeah, we hear you good. Been a while, man.
For the setting. I know school ended and I got kicked out of the dorms, obviously. Some home for holidays until I move into a new spot. But Merry Christmas, fellas. It's dope to see y'all again. Clint, James, you already know how y'all mean. Jarbo, nice to meet you. And Ryan, you as well.
How you doing?
Thanks, Charlie. See you later. It's good to see Charlie again.
And it was good to see him.
Oh man,
gotta get one in there.
I know you guys are probably off of it now, but would you mind going over Andor one more time? Because I think you guys had a very interesting dialogue over that, and I'd like to add to that if that's okay.
Go ahead, yeah, chime in on that, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
For me, if you know me at all, you know I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love to death. I've watched just about everything, read the extended books. For me, the show was really well done. You can see the quality of it. Obviously, it's really well written. But for me, I think it's just lacking super compelling characters. And I say that judging that off the standard of what Star Wars has given in the past with their compelling characters. I know I liked Jarbo's his comment as far as not focusing on just Jedi and Sith. I think obviously those are the main drawing points. But for me, if I'm to compare it to something, I look at a character like an Admiral Thrawn or someone like a Cad Bane, like these types of characters that are on this side of the universe or away from the Jedi and Sith, but they're really they're compelling, they're identifiable, they have like a certain presence whenever they're in a scene, and I just didn't get it. I didn't see a character like that in Andor yet. And I watched the whole thing through once. It didn't stick with me. I'm gonna go through and try to watch it again because I love Star Wars much and I want to support the project. Obviously,
It's a different vehicle though, and
Yeah.
also every time you move your laptop or your phone, your mic is clicking.
Oh damn,
So
my bad. Okay, I'm
keep
trying
that
to
in mind.
Also, because they lack heroes, and that's what the show is. It's a journey from just a normal, everyday, miserable person being oppressed, and it's a slow, gradual build up to him being a hero, like he was in Rogue One, and doing hero shit like they did in Rogue One. You know what I mean? It's like, right now, this is just a normal dude working in the factory, oppressed. You know what I mean? And like, we're used to seeing stuff like Indiana Jones, where dun 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 dun, you know, and flying compelling characters, and this is just supposed to show the everyday man, woman, or whatever, and living their life in the normal grind, but not just the normal grind. They're under the foot of a oppressive empire, and that's I think that's kind of the deal. It's like you're watching people just survive, and then as things progress and you're starting to get that, you're all of a sudden seeing Stellan Skarsgård and you're like, hell yeah, people are slowly crawling out of their shells doing hero stuff, and before you know it, we're going to have a compelling story. But I think it's just a slow buildup, which has been the complete complaint of 99% of the people that have had a negative thing to say about the show, is that there is no compelling thing yet, because it's slowly. But if you really watch, if you're not like watching TikTok while you're watching the show, and you're just really focused in, you can slowly feel it, and it takes a while. And I was going to say this earlier, but I stopped. I didn't want to interrupt anybody, and I didn't want to go back to the old subject or whatever, but I talked to a lot of people. We were talking about the blocks that they released it in, and I want as much content as possible all the time, whether it's beer or a show. And so, like, I'm gonna drink the whole 6-pack. I'm the same way with the show, and we had 3 episodes. I watched it all. I talked to several people, and I talked to a lot of people throughout the day, and I talked to a lot of people that only watched 1 episode, and they were like, man, what feeling it. And everyone that watched all 3 episodes, most of them were like, yeah, man, it's pretty good. It took a second. But I talked to a lot of people that just watched 1 episode, and I'm like, no, you didn't get anything in 1 episode. You needed to watch that block, and I suspect that's why they released it that way. So anyway, that's my my rebuttal to that, as far as as far as I can see. I just think we're going to get more of that later. People are just about to crack out of their shell. But
right.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess, I don't know. Maybe the thing's going to stay slow the whole way through. I don't know, but that's my guess.
Yeah, I don't mind a slow. Yeah, I'm a Tarantino fan. I'm trying not to move. I'm a Tarantino fan, so I'm fine with slow builds. I think I don't even think it's the heroes as much as the villains. I feel like in Star Wars, the villains really make the series, and I'm just waiting.
You were expecting like a Sith and like a Jedi. You were expecting like that kind of stuff.
I'm expecting like an Admiral Thrawn, like somebody like that, where he's an Imperial. He didn't have super space powers, but he's just imposing in presence and personality. Like,
but the big bad is the Empire, though, in the show. That's the big bad. It's the big machine.
Right.
That's the villain of it, because that's what it's all leading up to, is taking down the Death Star, right?
Right. I think there's no face to it, so it's kind of tough to kind of. I mean, you see it as a threat, obviously, but that's probably like the biggest part for me. There's no face of it.
It's looming over everything, though.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of fascinating to me too, though. Like the bad guys, the bosses, they're kind of everyday assholes too, but they're part of this. They're just a cog in the machine, and like you had like people that were the bosses. Powers, like places of authority that are talking to their wife. They're like, oh, are you gonna wear that shirt? And then the son is being snarky to his dad. I don't think I'm gonna go to this thing, Dad. Mom, is he gonna make me go? And like, that's like an everyday dude, except he's on the bad guys team. But like a lot of dickheads in the world that we live in, you know what I mean? It's like they think they're on the right team, but they don't know their team is the bad guy. It's weird. So I
Yeah, I
kind of thought that was fascinating too. Everybody's cool until you attack your kids and your wife, you know, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, you're a jerk, you know. It's like everybody thinks they're right, so it's kind of fascinating. Anyway,
Yeah, I think Dan Zig's point is the perfect reference is that people expect like a grandiose Star Wars event out of it when as its own, like it's an amazing thing on its own. And if you kind of take away like the space war aspect of it and you get that out your head, it's an amazing thing. That's what I'm saying. I enjoyed the quality of it. I thought it was well done, but it's really tough when you think Star Wars, you think the Skywalkers.
It wasn't Star Warsy enough for you.
Exactly, and you kind of. I had to take my head like when I was watching it because I enjoyed it. I watched the whole way through, and I had to take my mindset of, oh, I'm not going to see Mandalorians or a saber battle. I'm going to see a spy drama. And once I kind of did that, I'm like, okay, I enjoyed it a lot more. That was just me personally as a Star Wars fan. And
so do you go into franchise shows or movies and be like, okay, am I gonna get to see an Ewok, or is Spider-Man gonna show up, you know, or is Robin gonna show up in this Batman movie? Is that what's always in the back of your mind when you're watching these franchise stuff?
Not necessarily. For me, it's more so the tone and the atmosphere that you build. So
but then how come you had to switch your brain to not think about that stuff for Andor?
Because up until this point, everything that's come out has been that super sci-fi space stuff, or it's been related to Jedi to some extent. Even like with the Mandalorian, the animated stuff they just did with Star Wars, with the anime stuff, Star Wars Visions.
So it's like the ongoing theme. So and they tricked you. Okay.
So you have like an abrupt stop in that, and you have to like, oh shit, it's not what I thought it was going to be. You kind of have the momentum going, and you have to stop and readjust. And it's not saying it's quality, but it's just an adjustment.
Yeah, you might not be alone. Actually, I bet you a lot of people have felt the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because ahead of this, we got Acolytes coming, Ahsoka coming. We have even more crazy Jedi, Mando stuff coming. So you're just thinking it's going to be those. So you got to set on something.
But like Jar was saying earlier, like it's nice to have a show that is not full of Jedi or Sith or
right
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like watching, go ahead, Jarbo. I've talked all night.
Oh no, it's all good. I was just gonna say, like, I really enjoyed the world building that it had. I really enjoyed the characters. I like that they kept it like kind of like you know small to like where the birth of the rebellion was brewing. But it requires a lot of different people that are that aren't connected. Like the whole thing with Luthen and that guy Krieger, and sending those guys to die. It's like I have to do this. Like I'm not going to be, he's like, I'm sacrificing everything for a sunrise I won't see, like he understands. So it's like, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of very solid commentary about fighting back against fascism and oppression. And I think that's very poignant for our times.
Right.
And it's so, I think it's for me, that was really, plus, I mean, I think like, there's great Easter eggs, right? In the background of Luthen's shop, you get to see the rocks from Temple of Doom in one episode. Plo Koon's mask and another. I mean, like there's cool little things. Right. Amidala's headdress. It's just like little member berries of other things that are, but they're not so prominent that they take you out of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I need to go watch it again. Sorry.
Huh. Yeah, I agree. I want to see more of this. Like I love like you said, the world building with them like banging on the metal pieces. I thought that was amazing. You built a world on a world in a universe. I'm like, that's amazing. I want to see more of that. I wish they would have more of that and other stuff.
It's the first time that I've watched Star Wars, anything in Star Wars, where it actually feels like a real world to me. Right? Like everything else just seemed like very fantastical, and especially Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, shot in that little egg. But Andor really seemed like, even I think it was the closest to the original trilogy aesthetic that I've seen. And it really and then the way it built that world and built it up, and you can see all the nooks and crannies in there. I really enjoyed that. Now Star Wars feels like a real place to me, and maybe even if there was lightsaber, I mean, there was lightsabers on his ship, right? Which was cool. Who has lightsabers on their ship? But anyways, I wanted, because Clint, we haven't really talked about this, and Charlie, we haven't. I want your take on the whole Cavill thing, and with James Gunn, Clint. first of all, I'll bring in Non-Kino because he's been waiting patiently.
Oh,
Hey, man,
there we
what's
go.
up?
Jeez, you guys are making me hang there to dry. Hello, everybody. It's me. No need to fear. Non-Kino is here. How are
Okay,
you
so
guys doing?
Clint, so what's your thoughts on this Cavill thing and WB and James Gunn and
I loved Henry Cavill as Superman. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he got, and I'll probably get a lot of hate on this, but I thought he got robbed of his time to shine. And I'm not even going to say by James Gunn. I think just in general, I've been saying for a long time that Henry Cavill should have, like, okay, you want to do like the alien who feels out of place in a dark place, and then he has to kill Zod, and then but you need to bust him out of the darkness and get him into the light and give him a slight happy place. And if they'd have played Superman the way they played Wonder Woman in like the Snyder cut, and like stopping for a second to give a balloon to a little girl and then going and kicking ass and then be like, hey, no problem, sir, you know, and just being like a blend of Henry Cavill Superman and Christopher Reeve Superman, I think the general public would have accepted him a little bit more. And I think like all the nerds loved him. I loved him. You guys loved him. But I think if they would have done that, give him a little bit, you don't have to go quite as corny as like Captain America is. You could get him away like, okay, I get it. He's dark in the beginning, but then he finds a little bit of joy. Is the same complaint I had with Shuri in Wakanda Forever. Is I wanted her to find joy faster and then be the hero at the end. Spoiler alert, if anybody hadn't seen Wakanda Forever. And she does find it eventually, but I just, as far as the pacing of her character arc in that movie, I have a couple problems with it. I thought I love that movie, by the way, but I heard a lot of complaints about that movie, and I think that's a problem. And I thought
it was boring.
Yeah, I think watching somebody eaten up by the dark side all the time, who is supposed to be the hero of the movie, it makes the movie hard to enjoy, and we needed some kind of joy, some kind of glow from the character of Superman, and we never got it. And then he died, and then what's that?
You think they took too long getting to that point?
I think they took too long, and I think at this point they're ready to reboot and change some things, and they just decided, hey, maybe, and I don't know, none of us know. Everybody thinks they know, and everybody wants to throw their hot takes on it, including me. But I think maybe part of the cast couldn't do the whole thing or didn't want to, and they just said, you know what, instead of fixing half of the cast and then having to recast some of these people, you know, Ezra Miller could have been a part of it, or then again, they could have written out the Flash. Who knows what's going to happen with that? But I think they just said, let's just redo it. And I think it sucks for Henry Cavill. He's got plenty of other projects he's working on. He's very excited about the projects that he's working on. He's got other things going, and I think they just said, you know what, cool. And they said they're going to make Superman a little bit younger. Mm-hmm. And there's a possibility that it's not an origin story, but they're going to make him a little younger. And there's a possibility they even left the door open. Hey, man, maybe we can have you come back and play a slightly older Superman later, or maybe it's another universe or something, Superman. But so they're cool. Everything's cool. And I think it is what it is. Fans and who didn't get what they want or attached to what they want are going to go up in arms. And I think the general public, it just has too much of a voice in the world. And I think, I'm pro freedom of speech and all that, but it's like Yelp, like
shut your pie hole.
Shut up, dude. Yeah. Like, who cares? Oh, your coffee was cold the second time you went to this place. Get over it. Go to a different place.
Over it, nerd.
Yeah. Go to a different place for your coffee. And then there you go. So if you're gonna get that upset, I mean, there's other shows, there's other franchises, there's other things, and there'll be other Supermans, man. They'll do this for a while, and whatever, get over it.
What I think always give them like the Yelp special, you know.
Yeah. So what I think, my theory on it is that James Gunn, because he's coming up with this plan with Peter Safran, right? I think he came up with more than one plan. I think there was the this is how we can take what we have existing and use it. And, and then the other plan was like, here's what I would like to do without, if we didn't have all this other stuff before us. Right. And then, so he probably took both those plans to Zaslav and the board members and stuff. And then they probably crunched the numbers of how much it would cost. Right. If you have Cavill coming back and Affleck and Gal Gadot and everything, like those are hefty salaries to pay. Right. If you brought Zack Snyder, his films are expensive. Right. So everyone's trashing on James Gunn, but it's not, at the end of the day, it wasn't his call of what to do. Is that it had to be approved, right? By him and Safran's plan had to be approved.
I would agree with that.
Said, yeah, let's go it. What's
Yeah,
that?
but okay. To quote one of my editorial bosses, who I'm going to be writing for a website here.
Can you just tell me what you why you don't agree?
What are you talking about me? I mean, I agree somewhat. Sorry, I had a bit of a spacing issue there, but I definitely agree that it did have to get approved by Zaslav. Though, if I'm being honest, I feel like that whole Warner Bros. Discovery thing is going to get fall apart pretty quickly because of the amount of debt they're going through. But I don't know. I feel like the Henry Cavill thing was kind of inevitable. I just feel like this whole fucking I mean, yeah, DC's had its successes over the last couple of years, but it's just been so drenched in this fucking drama that's just so fucking tiring. It's like,
well, that's the other thing that was attached to. Say he did have these two plans, so you have the drama and you have the budgets attached to the existing movies, or you can just start fresh, right? And just create your own world, and you can do whatever you want. So I think like Zaslav and the board probably yeah, that's good. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm just
Danzig. Oh yeah, what's up, Danzig, right?
Hello,
Danzig.
You're right. Hello, everyone.
We got a full party here tonight, everybody. Did you bring the drinks, man? Just kidding.
I just got the coffee.
Okay, it's close enough. Yeah. Okay, but Matt, one more thing I want to tell you about. So Matt, remember that Puck article you were saying a couple of days ago? All right, so I just want to correct you on a thing here. For the past couple of months, I've talked to Matt about this. So you've been pronouncing his name as.
We lost Nankino.
Did he just pull a James? I think he just pulled a James. That was awesome.
Yeah, usually it's me that goes off in mid-sentence.
I'm probably going to be kind of contrary to the thought process. I'm not as mad. I love Cavill. I love everything these other people brought, but I think this is a chance to start fresh. And for me, I want to see more characters. Marvel's not doing to the best of their capability right now, but the thing I think they're doing a great job of is trying to develop a lot of lesser known characters in their universe that have potential to be great. And we've already seen that with Peacemaker and characters like that have potential to be great if you just give them to the right people. I'd love to see a Static, an Icon, probably not another Arrow, Red Tornado, just different wild characters that you can do stuff with. And doing those characters, you won't have as much super fan, hardcore fandom over a Superman or a Batman, because people have expectations of those characters in their head. If you start with somebody new and fresh, you can do something creative, and people may not like it because it's different, but you got a chance to try something new. And I hope that's what they're doing. I've heard that meme I've seen that meme go around of Gunn talking about he's trying to focus this new era of the DCEU on the animated stuff, which again, me being a fan of that initially was a great thing. But I took that as that Justice League with that. If you watch the animated series, they show Batman, Superman doing their thing, but they also gave moments to other characters like a Supergirl, like a Jon Stewart. They gave these other characters time to shine, and they created great stories. Wildcat. Oh yeah, that was amazing. I'd love to see these characters get their stories told, and you can do those alongside the big three, and that shows it. So that's the inspiration. I'm excited going forward.
Yeah, plus all these actors are pushing 40. Ben Affleck's 50. You know what I mean? They're
Is he
gonna
that
move
old?
forward. He's 50 years old. Gal Gadot's 37, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Henry
Henry
good,
Cavill's 39. So 10 years from now, they're doing, you know, Justice League 4, and they're 50 years old. They got walkers in Justice League 5. Like they gotta get the fresh crop in there. They had their chance. They worked on it. They made some great characters, and I like all the casting. It was great. They just like in my opinion, I think they just needed to be just for a blockbuster movie. I think they made some high dollar, interesting, artsy comic book movies, and I think if they were trying to go, they should have got Spielberg to come in and make some Justice League movies. And yeah.
You know what's funny is I said that Henry Cavill was too old, and that made a lot of people very mad. And then TMZ wrote an article about it.
Yeah,
about
Really?
my tweet.
Are you
About
serious?
my tweet. I'm serious. Yeah, yeah. But everyone's like, but you did it on Superman Day, and I'm like, you mean the corporate day that was put forward by Warner Brothers marketing to celebrate the release of Man of Steel in 2013, and even
Right.
Henry Cavill himself didn't back it? Like, right, but I'm the asshole.
He started to get to like Ryan Reynolds status of like fan crushes on him, where like he can do no wrong. They want him in everything, and I'm like, he's great. I love him, but he's not right for everything.
No, I
There's
feel like
nothing wrong with a reboot, though.
Well,
you know,
I think we're
at
kind
this
of at
point.
I think when we talk about reboots in comic book movies, it's a bit of an issue.
Redundant.
Because it's like everyone's like, but Marvel, and like Marvel will probably eventually recast some of these people, but it won't be for
Secret
a long
Wars.
time.
Mhm.
No, they might bring in variants of them in Secret Wars.
Oh no, but I
mean,
mean like that'll be their vehicle to start brand new again.
Right.
That'll be their big
I just feel like
climax,
that's going to be what brings us X-Men and goes from there. That just seems to make the most amount of sense. Like they understand, like they understand that you can't go backwards. Like they really get that. You cannot go backwards because they've got to have you can't have a persistent universe by constantly going back. And that's where DC I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying, and that's where DC fails because they're run by cowards that have no conviction. No, they're not. I think James Gunn and Safran now will be better about it. But beforehand, you know, you look at like again, go back to the Tushihara years. He wanted to play catch up to Marvel. They were the ones. Zach didn't want to do BVS. Zach wanted to do Man of Steel too. But no, we gotta bring in Batman and Wonder Woman. We gotta get Justice League. All right, because they see those
Spider-Man
billions
3 all over.
Yeah, they see those billions coming in from Marvel. They're like, our characters are more popular. I'm sorry, like Superman. I'm telling you guys, everyone gives me shit about this. Superman is not as popular of a character as people think.
Wow, what can I say?
He was.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
He was.
He was when I was a kid.
But you know who else has lost popularity in our culture that you wouldn't think would, because it's like a huge name? Jesus. Churches are having fewer and fewer people going to them. All right. Fewer and fewer people are not picking up the Bible and going like, wow, yeah, wow. You know, people are looking at like, the fuck is this? You know, like it's just a glorified cult. You're seeing consistent decline across the years.
Wow.
I love it.
God, I hate when you do drops.
Wow.
Bat first.
It's for you, Gerbil.
Anyway, that's what I'm
He's
saying.
a
I'm just saying it's Batman that has constantly and consistently been in the public spotlight.
You know what I think it
people
is
like
too? I think he's had time to do stuff on his own.
Wow. That's messed up, Jarbo. Why would you say that?
Wow, yeah, wow.
Wow.
Loki, wow.
I love
Variants,
Superman.
wow.
Superman's great. Wow.
The files are in the computer. Wow.
Wow.
The chin is killing me right now.
No, but I think we're just in a different place on a societal level. And I think people out there need to come to the realization that Superman is not the character.
The comics weren't selling until Death of Superman. Like it really dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
but we haven't. See, I didn't like Man of Steel when I first saw it. I didn't understand it, and as much as I like Henry Cavill as Superman, I just don't think that they've nailed the Superman character on screen yet in our generation.
Well, see, everyone keeps going back to Reed.
But that's nostalgia. That's nostalgia, though.
That's member
right?
berries, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, remember how you felt when you watched Superman 78 and you believed a man could fly? I remember him like looking at Lois Lane and being like, yo, what's underneath them skivvies, girl? You know, like there was that shit, right? And like freaking Lex Luthor and the one babe that they clearly were smashing.
Miss Tessmacher.
Miss Tessmacher, yeah, or Superman literally reversing the polarity of the Earth and making it go backwards in order for time travel.
That was cool. I like that.
It is forbidden.
No, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It was great. It's still a great scene, but it's like that's not something he can do. No one. Where was the hardcore diehards back in '78 going? Superman can't cause time travel. It's just.
Oh, I'm sure there. Just like when Keaton was cast as Batman, there's that. Just the internet wasn't there though. That's why it wasn't so. But I do want to get Danzig's thoughts. Danzig, if you're still here, what do you think about the recasting and Cavill leaving and all this fire James Gunn hashtag and the death threats he's getting?
He's getting death threats?
Yeah, he's been getting stuff. I'm absolutely furious. It's fire James Gunn all the way. Yeah, no, not really. It's no. I'm disappointed. Yeah, but you don't always get what you want in life, and that's the way it is. But the one thing I think of is that you don't know what James is going to do yet. Give him a chance. People writing him off before he's even kind of announced what he's going to do, and he might even bring something that's, dare I say, even better than what we've had before. He could cast a Superman that's better than Henry Cavill. And at the moment, people think no, that's no chance, but it could be.
People like to jump onto a cause or be part of a group, and I think people are just doing that. Like I think it's been way blown out of proportion, like big time. Just like you said, let him do his thing and then get pissed,
Like he hasn't even been in as the head of DC Studios for 2 months,
I know.
And he was already getting yelled at online like a week into the job, 2 weeks in the job, everyone asking all these questions. And like Sean said on the podcast, he's probably still picking out his office furniture.
Yeah, he was going to make Polka Dot Man the center of the universe is what I heard. I was excited about that.
Everyone's all upset because Batmite. Like that was he just posted a picture of Batmite on his Twitter, and I was like, oh, he's gonna bring Batmite in.
Well, there's a reference to Batmite in Peacemaker, and what's funny is like a lot of fans earlier this year were like, Peacemaker is great, and then James gets the job, by the way, that nobody wanted. I think we need to understand that. We need to really drive that part of the story home. Is nobody fucking wanted to take over DC because nobody wants to deal with psycho freaking morons online. And then James Gunn's all like, hold on a second. I'm okay. I can handle that. That's not going to be a problem. I've been here before. And,
canceled?
I'm sorry, what?
So when he got canceled, quote unquote?
Yeah. Oh, no, he definitely got canceled. Yeah. He definitely got canceled. But then again, like they were always going to bring him back. He just had to bide his time and stuff. But I still think it's like, again, he knows what it's like to navigate the online space. He's not doing really anything. I mean, I think like the criticism of Den of Nerds might have been like maybe like the one thing he shouldn't have done because he said like, you live in your mom's basement sort of thing.
You have to understand, like he didn't say that right out. He said, no, this is not true. And then Josh said he doubled down on it. And he's like, I got multiple people telling me you don't like. He didn't say, I'm hearing James Gunn is going to replace Cavill. He didn't say, I'm hearing James Gunn and Cavill are butting heads over the role of Superman. He didn't say anything related to the franchise. He went personal and he said, I'm hearing James Gunn doesn't like Henry Cavill. and then he doubled down on that. That's pretty rude, you know.
Yeah.
And that's, again, that's like high school talk. Oh, I'm hearing this guy doesn't like this guy, so I don't blame James Gunn for saying the basement comment, because that kind of talk I just think was unnecessary. That was him trying to serve drama, I think, you know. Or if he did hear that, like
Josh does
maybe
that.
Yeah, well, maybe he should have like attached it to the franchise or the role and not make it about the relationship between two people, which you don't know what's going on between the agents and the contracts and the backdoor negotiations and all that stuff.
And also, James Gunn's been meeting personally with people, not doing like, even over the phone. He's been meeting in person with these guys and trying to make it, nice, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, if you look
cordial.
if you look at what happened with like Patty Jenkins, it's like, I'm sorry, Wonder Woman 84 was objectively a bad movie. And that did wound the character of Wonder Woman, just like Justice League wounded the characters of Superman and Batman with those actors.
Yeah.
You know, you can sit there and argue, people like to argue that point with me, but I'm like, look, man, you can love the Snyder Cut all you want, but the Snyder Cut was shot in 2016, before Wonder Woman 84 was even conceived of, before Wonder Woman 1 even came out. You know, like it's just before, so much happened in the meantime. We got lucky with the movie that we got. We got lucky with that 4-hour film. But additionally, you're just looking at it and you're going like, things have changed, and they need money, and they need to have something that is going to be stable. And when you go online and it's just like hashtag fire James Gunn, he's a pedo 100 times over from the same person, you're like, these are really sane people that we should not try to get their money.
Question.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Those comments, really.
Yeah.
He's still a person at the end of the day.
Yeah, and he likes he loves DC. He's a comic dude. And he's I mean, think of all his movies. He makes cool movies. He writes fun movies. It's like one of us, except he makes movies. You know what I mean?
He's not going to write and direct all of them.
Yeah.
He's just overseeing them, and that's
I
what
mean,
everyone's like.
He has a proven track record. So
yeah.
A question I have as far as regards to all the criticism, how much of it do you feel like it's coming from people that are actually fans of the characters and of the source material? Because it feels like people are just hopping on a bandwagon, the internet attention.
Very
Probably
little.
more than
They're
half.
fans of-
More than half is bandwagon shit. I think.
Yeah, I think the majority are like, because they're in love with what Zack Snyder's done with the films, and they're in love with those characters, and then that's where the outrage stems from. That's the majority.
It's weird to me because you have, like, in comics in general, you have a million different runs, and usually when a new artist or writer gets a character, he does his own thing and starts from scratch. Usually he doesn't try to recount everything that came before, but people aren't outraged at that.
That's why I'm not upset about this decision, because like me, I'm used to seeing a new actor as Batman. I'm used to seeing a new actor as this superhero. Like, that's growing up, that's what I've watched, and I'm used, and that and not to say that's the norm, but I mean that's how it works in Hollywood too. Like Ryan, like you wrote in the backstage, you wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I just want to comment on what we've discussed so far. Number one, not all criticism is worth taking. I know everyone has a voice and opinion, but yeah, opinions, they're just like assholes. Everyone has them, and they often stink. And number two, no actor plays the same character forever. And speaking as a stage actor myself, and playing Christmas Carol, which, by the way, I still have the mutton chops.
Very nice.
Yeah. And whenever we perform that play, throughout the years, like when I started out, I played Fred, and then I played other characters like Marley, and other actors come in. They have their own take, and the same goes for all the other decades that people have played Batman. We have your Adam West, we have your Michael Keaton, we have Val Kilmer, and God forbid George Clooney. and of course we have Robert Pattinson, and you know what? We're always going to have different versions of the character. It's just a fact of pop culture and a fact of life.
Right. No, I think it's because they're attached to the actors and because so passionate of getting Zack Snyder's Justice League. You know, like oh, we got Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay, what's the next thing? Oh, the air cut, and then now it's like their hope, like the hopes are taken away, right, of what they can campaign for. So now it's just fire James Gunn. But these are actors in a franchise and superhero movies. I don't think it deserves all this negative hate. You know,
think about think about this. How good is Guardians of the Galaxy? You know what I mean? Like he's fantastic in that. Like he made such a great movie. You think he couldn't go in and take the characters that are already cast that we have and save the Justice League? I guarantee you he might have to work a second to get the right script, but it would be funny, it would be enjoyable, it would be a compelling story, and he knows enough about comics that it would be interesting to all the fans. He could make that, but there's got to be a reason he's not, and
would
it's
it
not
live
because
up
he
to their expectations though. This magical
would it? I mean, I think the kind of movies that I like to watch that are intense and exciting and also heartbreaking and make you worry and make you tear up a little bit and then make you crack up the next minute, and those are the kind of movies that I like, and that's what Marvel's got famous for. You know, they're doing all kinds of stuff now, but like that's why people love those movies, and that's part of what I think has been missing from Superman the whole time. But I think he could go in and do what he does with all the characters. You have different kind of characters with different attitudes that all blend together. He could make a badass Justice League with the people that are cast. But I think he's building a new empire. He's got to, like I said, they're old. Like he's got to start and think about a 10-year plan, and that's what he's doing, and that's why
even if he did that, Clint, like the fans that are upset now, like in the Snyder fans, they wouldn't accept it, because if it's not Zack Snyder, then they don't accept it.
They would probably react like Thor: Love and Thunder, where everybody's like, "Oh, this is just a straight comedy now or something because he made it too funny or something." I think that's probably why. It's like, hey, let's just flush this toilet and start over. But
damned if you do, damned if you don't, right?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be kind of like sports where winning cures everything. People are gonna be mad now, but once we get a good movie, everyone will be like, "Oh, well, it wasn't that bad," or "We're excited for this coming up now because it was actually good."
But are we gonna have like a year of bitching online because of that? Like we have to wait for that moment. Danzig, you're unmuting. You want to say something? Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say that I think what Charlie said is right. That until you get something that's better than what fans have been used to before, they're not going to kind of take away from what they wanted. It is a poison chalice role that James and Peter's got, like Matt said. And Matt's also right about the sales for the comics for Superman. They're not. I don't even think Superman's in the top 10 comics. I mean, I buy comics regularly. I've been a DC fan since before '89, before Batman came out. I'm going to see Batman Returns tonight at the cinema, and I'm absolutely stoked because I take my boy. But yeah, I think you probably will have a bit of bitching online, and you just
when will it stop? Do you think okay? So me, I'm a huge Snyder fan. I really wanted to see Zack Snyder's Justice League. We got that.
Yeah.
That's great. I was happy with that. Then it's okay. Let's move on to other stuff. But then there's still the fans that still campaign, and they're still mad at anything that detracts from the Snyderverse. But now I know you're a big fan. You're a big proponent of that movement.
I mean,
how are you feeling about that? And when do you think this? Do you think this vitriol online will die down at all?
I think it will do. I think obviously James needs to kind of change the narrative a little bit. If he could have released news sooner, I would have done, just to kind of put some positive news.
But how was he supposed to release news sooner when he hasn't taken anything? He's still working on his plan. Didn't take anything to the board as Zaslav. Like he's saying,
No, because he knows stuff now. Because he's kind of hinted there's a few announcements he's going to make in January.
Yeah.
But I just thought, just at the moment, just to kind of throw something to stop them talking. Well, I say them talking negative, but I think you can make a small group of people can make a loud noise if they want to. And it's maybe not a representative of the whole general movie-going audience. But yeah, in terms of will fans still want the Snyder stuff? Yeah, they probably will do. But I mean, I even thought, would they just do one more Justice League film just to kind of close the door? But that's not how business works. I mean, you'd be spending 300-400 million plus advertising, basically to kind of end a chapter for something. The only positive out of that is that you kind of a bookend on that and you can move on. But that's a lot of money to be spent. And I think what you said is true, that people, James just wants to get going. And it's like any new manager that comes into a business, they want to make their own mark, change what's gone on before. They want their tenure to represent what they've done, not what they've brought from the previous management. But yeah, sorry, I'm rambling.
No, that's fine. Do you think that the Snyder fans could support a studio and they'd make their money back if they restore the Snyderverse?
I hope so, because
like the hashtags don't equal butts in theaters.
No.
Like you have someone hashtag and fire James Gunn and restore the Snyderverse every second, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like over and over again.
Yeah, I've been, that's what the mute button's there for on Twitter, I guess.
No, but I mean, but they're trying to make a point that there's demand for this, but if it's manufactured demand, and maybe they learned that from when Zack Snyder's Justice League was released,
Well, I think the fact that they released a Snyder Cut set of precedents that the fans could get what they want if they campaigned, and I think it maybe enabled fans to think, well, if that worked, we can campaign for everything. We can campaign for this, for that.
If they didn't release ZSJL, do you think that they would have stopped campaigning? Because that campaign was going on for years.
I think I guess we'll never know, but I suppose it's possible. But like I said, when you had, the Tim Burton Batman era and Michael Keaton gone, you thought, he was the best Batman. You'll never get anyone better. And then you've got Christian Bale. And then you're like, oh, Christian Bale's brilliant. And now he's gone. You never get anyone better. And then it's like, you got Ben Affleck. See, what's to come might be better than what you've currently got. You just got
to but see, here's the thing, though. We had those iterations without fans latching on to one Batman and causing an uproar online.
Wait a minute.
When Robert Pattinson came in as the Batman, then with Michael Keaton, there was that uproar, but the internet wasn't invented yet. But there was that uproar. But once everyone saw him, it was great. And then you had Val Kilmer, you had George Clooney, and then you had Christian Bale, and Christian Bale was great, except he didn't know when to keep his mouth shut. Batman doesn't stand around with his mouth open. That's a whole nother story. But then because then you had Ben Affleck come in and everyone's like, they didn't like him at first. A lot of the online roar was like they didn't like him, but then
there was a roar.
He was great. Yeah, everyone thought he was great. But now you have this certain section on the internet that anyone replaces these roles, they're going to get backlash. Like, look what happened to the Robert Pattinson's The Batman. It was like, it's not going to make $1 billion. It's not going to make $1 billion. Well, who cares? Is it a good film? I thought it was a great film. I thought he was good as a young Bruce Wayne. And it's a good movie that stands on its own. So are we going to be able to have a world where we can transition into new actors without this backlash because everyone just wants Zack Snyder's universe? Like,
I hope
what do
so.
they want? They just want Zack Snyder movies for the rest of their lives?
Yes.
Are we not going
No.
to get progress? Or are we not going? Are we not going to get other films?
I think
Well,
it's.
I
the
gotta
way that
go, guys.
Oh,
But thanks for
sorry,
having me
man.
All
on.
right,
No,
Matt.
no, it's okay. It's like 1:37 here. I gotta
I
go
know.
check on my kids. So I will.
Thanks, brother.
I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Jarbo,
Take
good
care,
talk, man. Have a good night.
Go ahead, Danzig. You were going to say.
Oh god, I lost my train of thought.
Well, just saying, like now it's like if there's any new changes to the DC universe, these fans get all upset, and we don't get any. There's no chance for anything to try something new or to transition into new iterations of these characters in these movies.
I know. All you can do is just speak for yourself. At the end of the day, if you don't kind of, I mean, I don't agree with the fire James Gunn thing, so I'm not tweeting it. So I'm actively making a decision to say.
But are you
You know,
speaking out against it? Because this is like, I had a question for people that like are in this field, and it's like, with all this negative behavior, are you going to be able to speak out about it? Because if you can, I mean, I speak out about it now. It's gotten to me, like I don't like to talk about that stuff on Twitter or stuff, but like in the last year, that like me being a big fan, like the last year has been frustrating for me to see all this negativity coming from the fandom. And then like just now, like the James Gunn stuff is like, I'm done, man. I'm out, and so like, are you going to be complicit and just like, or as a Zack Snyder fan, are you going to say something? And this is what I have asked people that kind of shepherd this movement. And they're like, well, I'm not really going to police what other people say, but don't you feel like you have a responsibility as a fan? Right. And especially because you are promoting this stuff so much.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of tweeted James Gunn. I'm interested to see what he's doing next. But there's some people that you just won't charge their. I see some of the comments. Like I think there was one person that was tweeting via James Gunn every 4 seconds. Is that right? And you're not going to change. I don't think you're going to change their mind. And my dad always said, you can't reason with pork. And I was like, what does that mean? He goes, you can't argue with an idiot. So I think there's some people that you just won't change their mind for, James. Like I said, all you can try is put positivity out there, be positive about stuff you like. I just hope that others will see that and know the narrative's changing. I mean, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I should challenge it more.
It's an awkward time to be a Zack Snyder fan.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a confrontational person by nature, but
neither am I. Well, neither I'm not, right? I'm
not
confrontational, and then like, but for me to see all this, like, just
I equate it to like a TV show that was cancelled before and ended. That there's always, you've probably watched a TV series and
no one got death threats for Firefly being canceled. I mean, when you're passionate about a franchise, you go to conventions, you dress up as the characters, you now you do the hashtag campaigns, but you don't crap on anything because you're not getting your own way.
No, and that's outright toxicity right there. And you don't need to I don't tend to say stuff online that I wouldn't say to someone's face because it's just not right. But I think I've talked long enough. Sorry.
All right. Well, we are at an hour and a half exactly. I think we should call the night. It's pretty late. What do you think, Clint?
Yeah, it sounds good to me, man.
Yeah,
I had to go get some water real quick, but yeah. Yes. People, calm down. It's going to be okay, guys. I was going to say earlier, the Ben Affleck casting, there was an outrage when it happened. I was doing a Black Shirt podcast, and Dirk called me from the future, and we had him on, and he told me Doritos Tacos Locos came out with the ranch shell, and that Ben Affleck got cast, and it was pretty hilarious. But there was some serious misery about Ben Affleck. But then when he showed up, it turned out to be one of the coolest Batmans ever, and it was awesome. And I think if people would just be patient, guys, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna live through this, guys. It's gonna be good. There's hope.
And I also want to comment on this as well. Yeah, the same thing happened with it was announced that Michael Keaton was going to play Batman. Thousands of petitions were sent to Warner Brothers to not have him as Batman because they didn't see him in the role. And of course, when the movie came out, they see him as one of their best Batmans. And of course, fan outrage. None of this is new. I mean, if you go back to like the late 1800s, like one of the oldest fandoms out there is the Sherlock Holmes fandom.
Yeah.
And in one of the books, when Sherlock Holmes is supposedly killed off, a lot of fans were outraged at Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and so it became so immense that he decided to bring it back in the next volume.
Yeah, well, that happens.
I'm at the point. Bring back Injustice. That's all I got to say. Bring back Injustice, please. I'll be happy with that. I missed animated stuff.
I still need to watch the season 3. But I mean, okay, so yeah, the fan outrage is nothing new, but to this level of hate and behavior, it's just gotten out of hand. And that's what the point I was trying to make about like Firefly or any other canceled franchise, where it's like you come together to show the studio that you do love the franchise, you do love that property, and you want them to make more, but you do it in a tasteful way by keeping that franchise alive. I mean, look at Star Trek when it canceled after 2-3 seasons, back in the 60s. The conventions for decades, and then they brought it back in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the movies. Actually, they brought it later than that. But anyways, getting tired.
It's just like Yelp, dude. If you don't go back to the restaurant, you can go complain online, or you could just not go there. And when their business drops, they're going to realize they have rude cashiers or whatever the thing, and they'll fix it. It's the same thing. There's
they
also
realized that after Batman v Superman, with the box office numbers.
There's also a business in outrage, and I think that's partially responsible as well. You got all these YouTubers out there fanning the flames and getting clicks and subs and super chats, and all they do is sit and talk shit about different people, and I think that sucks too. I mean, there's one thing to be a fan and be disappointed, but there are a lot of douchebags that are fanning the flames. So
yeah, and they're propelling that movement.
Thing? How many clicks that Little Mermaid thing got? How many views? How much views made off that outrage of like a 30-second, 10-second trailer? I'm like, people are. It's if you can get money out of it, people are gonna milk it for money. You get attention, clout, whatever else. It's the internet. People are gonna do internet shit on the internet. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Everyone.
Hey,
thank
you guys have
everyone.
a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Anyway, enough about our balls.
Everyone have a and thank you very much for tuning in on this impromptu live stream.
Thank you for having us.
Guys, do us a favor too and subscribe to the Small Screen Co live channel, and we got the Small Screen Live link in the chat. So please go to that, subscribe, because we're going to have future live streams, and you may see some or all of us or none of us on these live streams. So come back
every Tuesday 3 p.m. Eastern will be the Small Screen Live on that channel. We're going back to our live shows, so hope to see everyone there. Thank you everyone for joining and listening. Bobby, love you, Bobby. Hope you're doing well, staying warm. Merry Christmas, Roman numerals. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. And we will talk to you later. And go
get well soon, Ed.
Go subscribe.
Get well soon, Ed.
What's that?
I'd say get well soon, Ed.
Yes, I'm gonna play this. He's in a bit of pain today. Otherwise, he would have popped in. But
Flash, savior of the universe.
I miss you, Ed. And that great music was by Clint and you can go check out his channel. Is it Clint Likes Everything now?
Yeah, Clint likes everything.
Or is it Clint Baker channel?
Your brother put so
Oh,
much.
it's Clint likes everything. That's an old link, so I outsmarted myself.
That's why I didn't
putting
the
that
old
text on
banner
there.
either.
Son
There
of
you
a
go.
gun!
Go subscribe to Clint. Live shows every Thursday, Friday. His verses. He's got 2 live shows every Friday.
Yes. Tomorrow we're
And-
doing Die Hard versus Home Alone. It's the same movie. Two
Just
Christmas
like the latest
movies.
Rambo movie.
Solo guy fighting the bad guys. Come check it
And
out. 8 p.m. Central Time.
The Then and Now podcast. Charles
Yeah.
does amazing edits over there. Thanks, everyone.